too. Okay. Well, good day, good love, and good light. Just for the sake of this recording, we'll introduce ourselves. Hello, I am Wendy with Languages of Lights, and my lovely guest, should I say, our co-creation together, Alicia with Temple Beautiful. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia from Temple Beautiful, and we're going to co-create some wonderful co-creations.
Yeah, so today we've just been chatting for a little while on our own, and today, just one of these spontaneous, synchronistic things. Alicia and I have been trying to get together for, gosh, well, we were just discussing that since like December. It's been very busy for both of us since the 2018, if you will, started. And so here we are. She said, today, I feel like doing some light languages today. And I said, great. I got some time this evening myself. Let's do this. So we actually ended up chatting for a while, but it was really nice. We were pulling some galactic cards there and very much enjoying that energy and discussing really just our experiences about what we've been going through the last few months, and
which I think the cards also kind of talked about, which is what
and they did. It was like all the cards that we just pulled for each other, that she pulled just for us, were really resonant of what she and I have been going through, and what our experiences have been with our own languages, with our own relationships, our own experiences, with all of this and our own ascension and dealing with the emotions and everything that goes along with it. And we were talking about experiencing what it's like now to have, say, for example, channeling sessions with other channelers where we learn more about ourselves. We learn more about our galactic lineage, if you will. We learn more about what our imaginations were already telling us that we, as we were just now discussing, because everything is seemingly our imagination, that if nothing is real, then what is real? But what is real really is our imagination. And this is, it's such a paradox that we almost can't wrap our minds around it, because we really begin to understand the laws of creation are as that we have been told, that what you see is what you create in your actual, what you call your physical reality, is simply a reflection
of your imagination.
And as we were just discussing too, say for example, we're remembering our Pleiadian selves. Now we can call it our Pleiadian lineage, but yet if everything's here and now, we also understand that this is happening right now. It may be, and then it gets even deeper into it, because then now we have all of these other aspects of ourselves that, yes, are all of these other galactic beings, if you will, living their own lives with their own families, their own processes, their own dimensionality. Where are they in the frequential, awareness, I guess, if you will, because ascension really is just becoming more aware of where you are. Right. I mean, ascension is not really becoming something. It's becoming aware of what you already are. And the more you become aware of what you are. And it's interesting because even as I hear now, the ninth Pleiadian, even they are still learning. Even they are still learning and expanding. And even us having these conversations and them channeling in on our conversations, they're also expanding their awareness based upon our experiences, just like we are them. And as we were discussing, we have to remember too that they are also just a perspective, just like ours is. We are a perspective. And what information would we share if we were the ones being channeled? Now, do you give somebody all the answers, or do you teach them? What we've been taught is to trust our own instincts, to trust our own guides, and that we all have guides, and to learn to trust that we, one, believe we even have them, believe they exist, and believe that they exist in ways that we didn't realize they existed, and in forms that we didn't understand that they exist in.
Yep.
And understanding the differences between what is the crystalline fractal of ourselves, like, so source energy, God, whatever you want to call it, said, okay, go and be and experience and share it with all that is. And that experience is you being born, and then you're born, if you will, and then you have an infinite number of fractals that are born from you. And from all of those infinite number of fractals, and when I say infinite, it means we can't count them, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. I'm gonna jump in and say, so this is the first card that we had got. Because when I said, so what are Wendy and I going to talk about today? And this is exactly what Wendy's talking about, where now that a lot of people are becoming aware and awake and in tune with their other fractal portions of themselves, they sort of want to rush the evolution. And that's what this card was
yes, read that. About. Yeah, read that card.
Is that we can't rush it. It is what it is. We can't, just because we were being told something or we learned something, or we have to actually embrace it in a way and work with it before we can actually move on. Just learning and having somebody tell us is not.
Well, as Abraham says, through Esther Hicks, words don't teach, only experience teaches. And you can't just hear it. You have got to experience it and live it before you can move on and actually gather the wisdom from the experience.
Exactly. And so they remind us that we cannot rush evolution as much as we want to. So it says, like the great galactic clock, the galaxy's core calibrates the rhythm of the evolution of consciousness through its waves of emission. Ancient civilizations such as the Maya were fully connected to it and were able to plot the galactic calendar using this wisdom. All life, including you, can feel this pulse from the core. Look out into the night sky and connect with the dark spots in the Milky Way. Let yourself breathe in this energy, resetting you to the natural pulse of the universe. You cannot rush evolution, and this card is a card of trust. You need to let go and allow the universe to work through you.
Trust.
How true is that, right?
How true is that? We're just talking about, and listen how trust, and the first three letters of trust are true, TRU. Yep. And isn't that interesting that the word trust itself really is about what is true to you? What do you trust that resonates with you in your core vibration?
Exactly. Should we talk about the Asani?
Oh. Well, that's an interesting to do.
So when I pulled this one, I was really excited because I know that you work a lot with them, or like I'm not as well versed in them as you are. So the 104, leaving home, and parallel means, and I have to remember, these cards are in past, parallel, and future. So it means that it's happening on a concurrent.
Right. It's happening right now simultaneously. And the beauty of the Asani, what they learned from the angelic realms was how to use.
Oh, wait. Should we tell them who the Asani are first?
Well, okay. So the Asani are Bashar's race. Bashar is channeled and is a collective consciousness channeled through Daryl, which I think almost everybody pretty much knows, but not everybody. So Bashar has been basically is an energy, is a collective consciousness energy that is from what is called the place of living light. The word Sasani means place of living light. That is what their planet is basically called, if you will. They ascended to a point where then they call themselves now the Shakani. So now it's Shakani is the name of the planet. Now the Sasani, which Bashar, really his name truly means messenger. So it's not necessarily an individual. We're connecting with their entire consciousness. When we speak with Bashar, the entity, we're literally kind of connecting to their whole consciousness. What they learned how to do from the angelic realms was to use the nows, the parallel simultaneous realities they taught them how to manipulate and use the nows in order to learn and gain wisdom from um, the from revisiting, if you will, that now. And that's just an easier way to put it. So the Sasani now, yeah, if you want to read the card, they're basically I forget what Bashar said, the fifth hybrid race. They're actually a combination of the grays.
They're a combination of the Zeta Reticuli, which are the
and
grays.
The human.
Now, I don't know, because if they're more evolved now, what other?
Well, it's still the same. Yeah, the DNA is that we also helped them share our DNA so that they could continue on their race as well, so that they could ascend as well and move on. And so this is what we agreed to help them do. And so when we talk about parallel realities, it's the understanding that even if you're talking about a past life, which is one of the things Alicia and I were talking about earlier, because she's a historian by nature, likes.
And we're gonna call myself. What did we say it was?
So that's what I was gonna say was, I love the idea of, what do you think about like spiritual historian or
spiritual archaeologist?
Archaeologist. That's what it was. Spiritual archaeologist.
Some archaeologists dig in the sand, but like I dig back into the Akashic to actual history.
And that's so she really likes that idea of knowing the history, the lineage, and what did they do on that planet, and who am I, and what did I do then, and what did I do in biblical times, and who was I connected to, and what was my role, and was my path the same then that it is now, and why am I remembering these now, and what does that mean to me now, and what information am I going to glean from that? And even at the end of the day, and this is a question for you specifically, when you learn something, what is that? How does it change you? How does it change how you react in your three-dimensional reality?
Oh boy. That's good.
What does it, why do you want to know? How does it help you now in navigate this, what we're all going through right now? I guess is the question.
Okay. So there are a few of us around the planet, and we're like the history keepers of Earth. And we've been with Earth from the very beginning. And so helping her through this major transition time where the curtains are being dropped and all this new information of like what the actual history was of the planet is coming to light. I think it really makes the human population look at what they've been taught, what they've been told, what they've learned, and look at their evolution as a planet on Earth differently, that now that we can bring these actual histories through, the real histories, the ones that are hidden up, the ones that they don't teach us in school. And for me, that's really important, because that is what our planet is. That's our true vibrational history of the planet. So if we're here living on the planet and trying to help it change into what's coming, we need to know where we started from, I think. And once people understand this, then it makes the shift a lot easier. And
yes. Well, the beauty of the Sasani, the Shikani, which they call themselves now because they have ascended to a point where now they call themselves the Shikani. The beauty of this is it gets very interesting, because as they have learned and teach, there are an infinite number of these Earths and these real histories. Okay, so now let's just let that sink in for just a second.
Well, okay, so this is a really good example. So the incarnation, or the experience that I had as Nefertari with Ramses, I remember two distinct different timelines. And so this is where it becomes hard, because when we talk about the star stories, this is one of the reasons I have not recorded it yet, because there is infinite timelines. There is, so it makes it a lot easier to just pick one for the general human population.
Right.
but,
and to,
but that's not really reality. But I think until we get to a certain evolution,
yes,
we have to
you
just
have to start, you have to have a springboard. And this is one of the reasons why I really believe that all of our, for as long as we've been aware, people have, as long as we've been aware that we have had the ability to go into an altered state of consciousness,
Mhm.
whether that means a hypnotic state, a channeling state, which are pretty much the same, almost, for the most part. We have been fascinated with the idea that we have been able to access what we call other lifetimes. And we've been doing this a long, 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 long time. And now you're seeing more and more of this becoming prevalent, especially with those who are in the quantum healing, hypnosis
Yeah.
technique, and taking people back into what they are considering their past lives, but now shifting your consciousness to become more aware of the fact, as you just said, shifting our consciousness to where we're beginning to understand that you're simply accessing a life that's happening right now.
Which means, and this is the catch, like, which means you can go back and you can change certain
yes
pieces of that, which then has a drastic change for the earth as we know it. And this has been a really fascinating journey for learning how my twin does this. So it's really like a big can of worms. It's not something really explain, but
it isn't.
And it's hard. And actually this card, the leaving home, kind of goes with this. I really like that term, the spiritual archaeologist, because
I do too. I like it a lot. I think you should use it if nobody else is using it.
Yeah, it's hard to explain it, and this is where we talk about the card talks about being courageous and finding your own path, and like, what are you here to do to help with the vibration, or to get other people aware. And my line of work is like totally different than a lot of what I see out there. And there's really it's hard to explain in a human context, but I still do it and I still talk about it. And it's as crazy as it seems, like I like putting those pieces together of, it's not about being somebody well known in that time. It's about how the big co-creation or the big mission, because you have small missions in each lifetime, right? But the big mission,
the big mission, exactly. That's it.
How I can look at that from, start to where I am right now as the big mission. How are we doing on the big mission?
Yes.
And to me, that's absolutely fascinating.
I like that. And that is, read that. Go ahead and read that.
Okay, so the Asani are a cross between humans and Zetas. Eventually, they had to integrate all their lessons and evolve as a species and leave home. They had to walk into their own future and find their own path. Humanity is facing this challenge now as we struggle to find ourselves. And I think this is a big issue. We are really struggling to find out who we are. And it says, you two are at this crucial nexus point of evolution. This is a beautiful and bittersweet place to be. You must do your spiritual homework, which is the number one, why you can't rush this evolution.
Exactly.
And you have to make conscious and courageous choices and find your own path. Do not fear who you truly are. And that's another really important, who are you? It represents the potential for new birth and the importance of consciously creating your future and starting now.
And knowing thyself is one of the biggest things that I grabbed from information through Bashar and that was one of the reasons why I did that series that I did a while back, a couple of years ago, of the Know Thyself, when Bashar had gone through this series of 7 days for 7 weeks, every day, going through the self-love technique, because knowing ourselves and putting those pieces together and understanding our big mission, like you said, that's what we're becoming aware of, was what is our big mission with all of those fractals. And that's what they came to show us.
Of incorporating it all to ourselves. And
yes.
so, no matter
knowing yourself,
what we
And
want to
loving
follow.
yourself is the job here, right?
Okay, maybe you can help me with this. This is crazy. Asani. Okay, the Essenes are a historical group, and I don't know if they're actually related to the Asani, but it's very interesting because it's like very close, and they're credited with writing the Dead Sea Scrolls, but there's a lot more to them. One of their, in order to join their group, and they had a group like when Jesus was on earth, or when Yeshua was on earth.
Mm-hmm.
In order to join their group, it was kind of like a commune, and you had to go and you had to like live with them for a while, and they wore these white robes. They were very simplistic. And in order to like fully integrate into the group, you had to know thyself, and they placed high importance on learning about your past, your past experiences, and on top of every single temple door in Egypt, it says "Know thyself." So until you walk into that temple in Egypt, you have to know exactly who you are, where you come from, what you're doing. You know, you're not just this body. You are a
Wow.
vast amount of information and experiences, and that was taught back then. It was so important. And so for you bringing that up with the Asani and the
Oh
Essenes,
my God. I mean, everything you just said makes so much sense, because that actually makes a lot of sense, because, and I knew about that. I knew about the Essenes, but what I didn't know was about the know thyself, because that in of itself, of all of their teachings, and now Bashar, he's been channeling Bashar for like over 35 years now.
mm-hmm.
The message is still the same, and that it, to make all our decisions from a place of complete integration of body, mind, and spirit. Funny you use the pyramid shape.
Right.
Their symbol is a triangle. They are galactic ambassadors. So they want to learn about other civilizations, and so we share that, but their whole philosophy is based upon completely loving and accepting yourself, following your highest joy and excitement. I was so excited when I met you and found out what you did, because I never knew anybody else that did that. And I thought, as a person who's always loved antiques and antique shopping and that kind of thing too, and believing I'm connected to every realm and timeline, and have always, all of my rooms in my home where I lived before, each one was like a different representation, I realize now, of a different fractal of where it's so weird now when I think about it. Yeah. And so all of this comes so into play, and how this energy that they've been bringing through all these years, and he being the first one that it was the first channeler I ever saw, was Bashar. And so the information itself resonated with me so much. Well, now I understand from a higher level, as we were talking, as you just said a little while ago, the bigger mission. And once I understood how I was also instrumental in teaching them this information, it was like, holy crap. No wonder I resonate with the information, because it's part of my big mission all over the cosmos, not just here. So yeah.
And I think that, I mean, you and I have been together in many lifetimes.
Oh yeah. I mean,
experiences, but I think that regardless if you're talking about the Asani or the Egyptians or the Essenes, know thyself is pretty universal, even galactically speaking.
That's what they all are doing too, right? They all want to know themselves too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, regardless if we're on Earth or we're on Venus or whatever, it's just,
and that's what I was going to say was too, is they embody what we consider the crystalline Christ consciousness. This is what they've been trying to teach us. So that makes perfect sense that it would tie into that, the angelic realms, the biblical times, what Yeshua, this energy that he embodies, is the same message.
Yeah.
Exactly the same
Exactly.
message. Know
Exactly.
thyself, love thyself, all of it. It's as if every teacher has been teaching the same
Yeah.
class.
And
Just
I
in,
think for so long here on earth, we did know ourselves, but we wanted to be physical. We wanted to be in the 3D and experience what that was. And that came with a heavy load of eventually forgetting where we came from or what we are. And now we're finally getting back to that. And so that's why, people are wondering, well, how come all of a sudden we're seeing all these new finds in the archaeological world? Why are we seeing all these new papers? Not that you guys probably read archaeological papers, but I do that as a fun pastime. But why is all this new information coming about? Well, we couldn't discover this new information before because we had to be at a certain vibration,
yes.
planetary vibration, in order to understand where this new piece of information is coming from. So now we're finding a lot more stuff than we were. And people say, well, we dug in that place 5 times before.
Well, there you go. I'm so happy you just said that. You just gave me the segue I was waiting for, because what they were just going to say was, yes, you dug there 5 times. So why didn't we find it before? Well, because you raised your frequency to a vibration where you move to a version of the earth where now you find it's not that it wasn't there before. No, it wasn't. It did not exist on that version of earth.
Yep, exactly.
Now you raise your vibration, you become a new version of different vibration. You become in resonance with this new vibration, or with this other vibrational earth, of which now that stuff is there beneath the earth, and it wasn't there before. Now we can start to tie in the physics with the spirituality and understand it's the same thing. It's about vibration and resonance. And when you move to that new vibrational version of the earth, you and I, for example, which Bashar has said many, many times, when you do that, just as you and I raise our vibration in a hangout, and anybody who watches it, we have now just leapt to a new vibration of a different earth, in which now you and I are going to discover even more magical things because we've raised our vibration. And now everybody that you and I rendezvous with, including our partners, the people we do business with, the versions of those people are different now too. We cannot grasp these concepts, but it is the way of the universe.
A really great example is I now get emails and messages and comments about what is this magical ointment? Before people would have known, what is this historical ointment? But now it's, what is this magical ointment? Okay, we've shifted a few timelines here, a few vibrations. But now that doesn't mean that we can't go back to the other vibration. Just because we're up here doesn't mean we can't fall. And so I think it's something, as any human in a body here on earth, we have our good times and our bad times. But once we get up here, we can start recognizing when we're getting a little bit low, and it's easier to bring our vibration.
Yes. Oh, what a great point. Because just like he used to say, you're always going to go up and up and up. You're never, but the thing is that we can always decide which vibration we want. And sure, you can go back to being sad, or you can decide to be happy. You can decide to go visit that other earth again if you really want to. There's nothing stop. And the thing is there's nothing wrong with it either. There's nothing wrong with needing to do that, because sometimes we need to do that because we just didn't get it. We didn't get what we needed. Our vibration goes back to that version of the earth. And now this is how we can explain it, and we don't need to get into it, but this is how we explain the whole Mandela effect.
Right. And that's why it's happening so much more these days than previously, because of the higher vibrations that we're jumping up to.
Exactly.
We didn't really have to worry about that in the past.
And so now,
this goes with the mental transformation.
Yes, and I was just going to say, wow, see all the cards that she pulled for just us together. Yeah, so now here we are. We have now moved into the mental transformational portion of this video.
Oh man, this is so funny because this is just what we talked about. Okay, so it
Of
says,
course it is.
of course it is. So, oh, this is Sirius, by the way, in the future. And it says belief habits and mental attachments cause most of the distress that we experience as humans. Sometimes we don't even realize we have them. Now that we are making a planetary transition, it requires us to let go of these obstacles to truly awaken. Our future Sirius friends who have released these obstacles can help us with this because they provide loving guidance to help us navigate the transition. This card asks you to be truthful about your limiting beliefs and habits, even if they're positive ones, and open yourself to new and flexible ways of thinking and being.
Perfect. And also talking about the Syrians and pyramids in Egypt and the knowing thyself. See, this works right into that as well, because the Syrians were also instrumental in teaching us about pyramids and pyramid energy, and they helped us understand the building blocks and the healing properties and all the things that have to do with all of that. And again, one of the reasons why I love your Temple Beautiful line, because I really believe that just your interest, your vibration, your intention to bring that genuine energy and vibration and understanding and knowing and healing properties, just your intention of all of that, I think goes into everything that you create in those recipes. I really, really believe that.
I do too. And this is one of the interesting conversations that I've had with Takur in the past, is that all my past experiences, whether they're on this planet or a different planet, have kind of led up to this moment, because I know how to use sound resonance, sound frequency, vibration, to change molecular structures of things. So we can work together, not just in a 3D plane, even though that's where I'm like mixing things up, but on different vibrational levels to actually help heal in ways that weren't possible earlier, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. And I just love how telepathically in tune that we are, because you just once again gave me the perfect segue, because the original intention of this hangout was really because we really wanted, we were feeling like we wanted to speak languages. And so this is a perfect segue into that this is what light languages do. They help us change our molecular structure. They change our brain waves. They change our belief systems. They help us release the belief systems that literally don't belong to us. They help us identify it. They help us identify, as you said, where once you start sliding into a frequency that you know, we no longer have to go to that heavy experience, the deep, dark, we don't need to do that anymore. We almost feel it's like just, the rumble strip, just like Abraham said,
because that's what you are. That's what we're learning. We are in control of everything.
Of all the time. Everything. Exactly. And
no one can control us but us, unless we let them.
So I would like then to take this opportunity to then let's do some light languages, and let's do a little like a little star story kind of idea. And
we could do some activations too.
Yeah. And then this way we can help others activate themselves and activate your own awarenesses of your own multidimensionality and how this integrates into I love how you said that. I'm still seeing this, your big mission. We are an infinite number of fractals, but each one of those fractals kind of has a main kind of mission, if you will. And this is what we're going back to is let's reactivate this very source, spark of what it is that you really wanted to do at the first burst of, your birth, if you will, of your divine birth, and I really like that a lot, and the idea of the pyramids and sound healing and all of that. So yeah, I've got all my pyramids here too.
I've seen that.
Yes, I've got everything going on here.
I think as people wake up, they say, oh, like I really feel like I want to do this. And they don't innately know where all that power or all that wisdom they don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. And so for some, that's okay. That's all they need, and that's fine. And then for others, once you realize that all your bits and pieces are coming together from all your experiences for this now moment, it becomes just fascinating. It just like blows up, and you're like, wow, this is so big.
And that's how I feel when I speak languages. I don't know about you, but I feel as if once I lose my earth language and I allow all of the cosmic celestial energies and essences to evolve, transmit, it's almost like this symphony of where there is no ending and beginning, from one race to another, from one fractal to another. It's almost as if, like you said, we're bringing it all into, like right now, I'm like, my whole body all of a sudden just started really vibrating. Like,
vibrating mine
yeah,
too.
all of a sudden.
When you were talking about bringing it all together, that's where
even my head.
we're not only just speaking light languages. Sometimes we have all different types of galactic languages just thrown in there, and it all becomes one beautiful light language. And there's no this is that or this is this. It's just
it is truly the universal language. And when we say universal, each of us is a universe. So it truly is like this multi-dimensional, multi-universal language. But as Jim Charles had mentioned, he said it really is the universal language. It's the speaking of all of them.
About you, but like I've had a lot of people message me today and say, is it just me, or am I, when people speak to me English words, I have to think to myself, that's a really weird word, even though it'd be like a normal,
yes.
But like our brains are changing, and so we're like, is that really a word? Like stop sign. That's just
it does. It almost sounds like, I even thought that today, it was part of my video today, and I've thought about this before, and I've been wanting to, actually was guided to talk about it before, but the word behave.
Yes, that's a good one.
They were like, and they've been wanting me to say, and so today it was like, today was the day to say, okay, look at the word behave. If you behave, you can have what you want. So if you be good, you can have what you want. And I'm like, so if you be this way, you can have this. And I'm like, holy crap. We leave ourselves linguistic breadcrumbs.
Yep. And now with our brains being rewired slowly.
Yes.
Sometimes these English words, or whatever word, maybe not even English. I don't speak a lot of English.
Right. Me either. I don't either. But
you just have that moment of like, that's really weird.
Wait a second.
I don't quite get it. I'd like to answer you in light language, but like we're not quite there yet for everybody. So like,
but isn't it interesting how everybody I know that's been, and I talk to a lot of people all day long too about light languages, and everyone's starting to say the same thing that speaks languages. I wish I could just speak in languages all the time, because it's as if I get to say everything I need to say without actually having to think about how I want to say it and what am I going to say and what words am I going to use.
It's so complex, but yet it's so simple.
So here we go, folks. And I've got my musician shirt on tonight. And it's interesting today because today was about creative energy. This is actually from the Columbia College in Chicago of Fine Arts, of which my son attended. He is a jazz musician, and he gave me this shirt, and I love it because it has, oh, look, you guys, my squirrel.
Whoa.
I didn't even know, I've had this thing for years, and I swear to God, you guys, I wonder.
I was going to say, I see blue, blue, green, and purple light coming off each one at rays coming off.
We've got our book and our coffee cup. It's and this represents all of the arts. We have the fine arts, and there's a portrait there. There's video, the healing arts. So this is it's interesting what a metaphor this is for all of us. It represents all the things that we are, and speaking our truth, singing our song from our heart. Because when a musician plays, especially my son, who loves improvisational music and just playing from his heart, loves jazz, and even though sometimes we don't understand it because it doesn't have a rhyme or a reason, it's because it's so pure. And I think that's what I think appeals to jazz artists is that what's coming out of them is so pure that they don't need to think about it. They don't need to put it in a box or a label. It doesn't need to fit. It doesn't need to fit the
Just
way.
like you don't need to fit.
Right. And none of us do fit. So I'm loving how this and the black and white energy. I've been in that black and white energy too because of the equinox, So it's just the balance of black and white,
It's so funny. I had black and white on. I was the first outfit
you did. You should have looked.
And then I was like, no, like I'm gonna be bright and cheery and springy, and then yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of dreary. Like
that would have been pretty hilarious though if you would have come on too with black and white. That would have been pretty funny. So, but we have it for the record, folks. She was in black and white. So
that's really synchronistic. We won't get into it. Of course
it is. Yes,
because I read an article about the song Black or White, and it was very interesting. And then like I've had a whole bunch of synchronistic stuff with that. But anyway.
I just realized too, our connection to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Mine and yours.
Which we've never really talked about.
And and you just said black or white. It reminded me of his song.
Yeah.
Is black or white. And then Ebony and Ivory.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. And somebody today, and I tagged you in Facebook because somebody today said something to me. They posted a picture, not to me, they posted a picture of Michael Jackson and said, is anybody else feeling his connections more lately? And I'm like, and I said, and I know somebody else who, I said, I have been all my life, and I know somebody else who is too. And I truly believe it's because of the energy that he embodied, and we are all becoming closer to that crystalline consciousness energy that he embodied, that he wanted so much to bring to the earth. And now we're all getting closer to him. And I keep hearing him say, just call my name and I'll be there, because he's so happy that we're finally making real what he wanted.
And I was thinking about this because Patrick sent me a link to Instagram, and it was a video. And hang on, let me get my thoughts, because now there's like all this stuff like shooting in. So what I was thinking about was listening to the music today, because I haven't really listened to his music in a while, because we chat so much that like it's weird to me to like, I don't know, but
I get it.
I was thinking that if you go with the Mayan calendar, the 2012, like we entered into like a new phase of Earth. I was thinking about how before this, nobody really knew what he knew what he was here for, and he talked about it a lot, spreading the love and stuff. But think about how his music, in the vibrations, and in his heart, like how it prepped us, how it prepped the earth to like open up those stargates, open up those energy portals that had he not chosen to come here with all he did, because what he did was on such a massive scale for the entire earth, that like we would probably actually be set quite a ways back in our experience of the brand new enlightenment of earth. So so I was thinking about that today, and he deserves a rest. Like he deserves, because we were having this conversation about like he wanted to come back in, right? And I was like, no, I think like he should just like rest for a while. And but like he totally deserves a rest. He did so much for Earth this time around, you know, regardless if people understood it. And it really just took me until now, like today, to like.
Isn't that interesting too, that she would be discussing him today and his energy, and you've been thinking about him, that you were thinking about him today. And these last few weeks, it's been very interesting. His music comes to me, and I always know as soon as I hear a song, and I know he's there. It's like, so the other day even, And I know most people might think this is really, really corny, and some people may not even know what this song is, because it dates me because of the movie and everything. And of course, I know you'll know because you
You're
love.
talking about Ben?
Yes, Ben. And so, yes, Ben. And every now and then, all of a sudden, I just hear, because the song resonated with me so much in the movie, of course, too. And even though what it was about and everything may seem so bizarre, but um, that whole thing, just all the lyrics to the song.
I mean,
You've got a friend in me. It just.
I was thinking about this too, with his music and how he had so many people or followers or that loved him and listened to his music. And I wonder how many of those, like, if you would, because I'm all about like getting graphs and stuff and like figuring out like the percentages and all that stuff. If you would actually like poll all his fans, how many of those people, because we were like kids when he was like in the Jackson 5.
Well, I grew up
Things,
with him. I
right?
mean,
Now like
I was the
consider
same age as
themselves,
him. I mean, I think we're almost the same age.
but like that they consider themselves light workers, or they can whatever label they're here to help the
Yes.
earth. And I would love to know the percentages of his, because I think it's a lot. I think it's probably,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, maybe like 75-85% at least, if not more. Where people maybe didn't realize it at that time because it wasn't really talked about, but now they're like, oh wow, like
What's interesting,
really
because
helped.
I remember when he was a kid, when he was little, and I was pretty young, and I want to say this memory that I'm having right now, I guess I was probably about 7 years old, and they were getting pretty popular, and he was very young. I mean, he had pretty much just started, but it was interesting because now that I'm remembering, I remember when I first started hearing him, I felt something happen to me. I actually felt it. And,
Like
and
that
now
was
mind you guys, I was just a kid.
to us, right? To activate. That was like his
Yes,
light
it was like
totally.
something happened to me. And from that moment, I heard his voice from the very first time. Something connected with me with him, and I was connected to him my entire life. And I've always loved music. I've always been in choir. I've always sang. So there was always that musical connection. And just, of course, the idea of being, in a musical family just was my dream come true, of course. But there was some connection there because I knew even then, and now that I remember, I knew even then I was also supposed to do this work, and that he was going to be doing this work, even though I didn't even know what this work was.
Right.
I was only 7 years old, but something happened to me. And then from that time on, as I watched his career, it was as if I stayed with knowing him and who he really was, not the persona.
Yep. Same.
And I knew that you would understand. And I think that, yes, that I would say that many, many, many of his fans probably are light workers.
I think so.
So yeah, I would tend to.
Like when that whole thing came to me today, I was just like I had that moment where I was just like blown away, where I was like, why didn't I think of this like sooner? I can't believe this is so big.
I'm surprised you and I never talked about it, because it's something that I really have always kind of been aware of since I woke up, because weirdly, he was one of the first people ever since he transitioned. He was one of the first people I actually started telepathically connecting to. And this was before I even understood my own channeling abilities, really. And I even thought back then, oh my God, I'm going crazy, right? Like, I can't tell anybody about this because no one's going to believe me. They're going to think I'm totally insane, but I'm freaking talking to Michael Jackson. I'm just like, no one is going to believe me. And I never told anyone, because who would believe me?
Remember that first time I was like, Wendy, I have a story.
I'm like, I have something to tell you, and you're going to think I'm crazy. And I'm like,
and then your mouth was like,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, and it was so weird because I had told you about this. I told one other person about this, but then I never even really thought about it. Not that necessarily believe that we had this connection, but like I was like, regardless if we do or we don't, like if I'm just a crazy woman making this up, like it's cool because it like makes me feel better. So it doesn't really
Exactly. So what
hurt.
difference does it?
But then I was talking to Kurt one day, and out of the clear blue, she's like, Michael Jackson's here and he's got something to say to you. And I was like, oh, well, I should probably ask you about that. I was like, so like I've had this really weird soul connection with him for years, since I can remember, years. And like, we like cook together and we'd like hang out and talk and like, it was all very cool. And I never even thought to like ask you about it. And she's like, well, he has a lot to say to you. And it was really fascinating. And it turns out like it was all true. And when I first saw that inside of that Neverland video, and I was like, why do I know this place? Why do I know every single thing? Like, this is the kitchen we have the food fights in, and this is, and it was just such a bizarre moment for me. And to Kerr's like, she goes, well, yeah, of course. And now he's here to tell you something because you don't believe him, and he's always telling you that you have to trust yourself, and you don't. And he has something to tell you. And I was like, okay, so bring it on. What is it? And it's a crazy life. But it's my life. And actually, I had this ring. So after he passed, I had this ring made, and I felt like it had to be inscribed in the inside. But I like would never consider myself a crazy fan because I really wasn't. I enjoyed his music, but I like just felt like I knew him on a personal level. So it wasn't like that for me. But I had this dream where I was like talking to him, and I said, hey, I'm going to do this ring. Like, what should we inscribe it with? And we did it. And he's like, well, let's do it in Gaelic. And so it actually turns out to say our soul's will in Gaelic. And I had it inscribed like that. And I never knew why. And then all of a sudden, all the puzzle pieces came together. And I was like, all right.
We should request him sometime in a Saturday webinar and just say, hey, you know what? Why are all of us connecting to you so much now?
I was gonna say, I think it's because he belongs to our soul group. The main, like,
yes,
we have all these different soul groups, but like our main soul group, which is massive. So a lot of people are chilling with him right now. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm cool because I'm chilling. Like, a lot of people are chilling, so it's cool. But like, we're the group who's doing the work. I mean, or not doing the work, but like, we're the group who is on the ground level right now. And so that's why he's got so many connections.
totally.
All together in this.
That's how I feel. Exactly. Like we're matching his frequency. And see, this is the thing. We don't even need to ask the question because we already know the answer because he's telling us the answer right now. We're matching his frequency, and that's why we're all just chilling out and hanging out. That's exactly why it is. I'm loving this, man.
You want to hear my story? I'll make it short. So like, we usually have these chats because I don't sleep very well. I mean, well, he never slept very well either, but we have these chats a lot at night, and like we talk about all kinds of stuff. And the one time I said, hang on, like I have to get up and like go to the bathroom. And I came back and I said, where are you? I can't see you. Where'd you go? And he goes, you have to hold my vibration. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
I have to hold your vibration and I can't do it right now, so we'll just talk later.
That makes a lot of sense, though. That's true. And we're the ones who break the connection. So,
Right, exactly.
Or believe or don't believe. But
because we are such a, like we want to be at a certain vibration, but we're still in that 3D, like it's easy to drop.
So I'm going to, because of the beauty of technology, I'm going to pause this recording really quick, just for a moment here. And I'm going to go grab some more H2O because my glass is empty and I'm very thirsty. And then I think we should do a light language chat. Okay, so for the Masters of Technology, we are back.
We have chocolates.
We are back.
We're back.
So I think what I'd like to do is maybe set a little bit of an intention just to convey maybe just some of our experiences, maybe from our star families, and maybe convey maybe an activation type of for anyone who listens to I don't know, kind of maybe solidify some of the things that,
to step into your own power.
yeah.
So like if to connect you more with your guides, your teams, your star, whatever point on your path that you're on, to connect you more with the peoples that surround you to help you, but also to give you confidence in yourself, to be weird and to be
I like
yourself, to step out.
I like that. Be weird. Matter of fact, I was gonna say, where's my hat? I've got all kinds of crazy hats. I was like, maybe I'll put one of my hats on. Nia Satosapi Ilaki. Okay. Nia Satoshi. Okay. All right. So have a sip of water here. I'll mute just for a second so you don't all have to hear me drink.
I'm just like looking through my small collection here of rocks and just seeing which one is like speaking to me to hold right now.
That's funny. I was doing the same thing.
And I haven't done much with this one, but it's very fascinating.
I have a similar one. I have so much stuff up here right now. Oh my gosh. I have all my stuff here. Oh, I know. Okay, so I just grabbed this one. This is my Angelite heart. It was a gift. A stone of heightened awareness with special focus on peace and sisterhood. It gives protection in the environment around your body, promotes compassion and understanding, helps you to speak the truth when this is difficult, alleviates psychological pain, increases telepathy, facilitates contact with angels, healers use Angelite to unblock energy pathways. Wow. And it's blue, and it's a beautiful blue heart.
Oh, pretty.
And it's very heavy, actually. It's in a bag right now. I'll take that bag. So it's quite lovely, quite heavy.
I don't think it's so interesting because the last 2 nights now you brought up stones that I don't think I have, and I need to look into them.
And this is one that was on my list that I wanted to have, and I never got one. And this was gifted to me by a client, actually. And this other one is a rose quartz. So I'm just feeling lots of loving, beautiful energy. So it's another, and many of us have rose quartz. So I've got lots of things around me. I've also got a malachite here. The rose quartz turns the heart toward love and bathes the body, mind, and spirit in that healing and enlightening frequency. Calming for the mind, assisting one in releasing worry, fear, anxiety, and past emotional trauma. Clears the emotional body of ego-driven patterns and can help one feel more open to receiving and sharing love, compassion, and kindness. So I thought that was great. Thank you for Michael and our guides for guiding us to these two, because I think
Michael come in and like help us with
absolutely perfect for this now moment.
I've been in a group with like the Magdalene group. They've been doing a lot of downloads and activations and stuff. And anytime Mary was channeled, she keeps talking about rose quartz lately. So,
really?
Yeah,
so
I think
wow.
it's good to bring that forward.
And I'm really, truly feeling right now the energy of these like coursing through me, especially this Angelite. It's like really incredible energy. And I got my Indian kyanite here too. So anyway, gorgeous energies here, everybody. So really feeling the love here in this. Nia soto shnia e kelesa ne te wahano kwa. Pishena ki le seniaro asatolo yama o oni atakashe. Ohano kwa se. Sikiri seniaro yama ila konia a oni asato kwa. Nishiri siniki e inonia soto alo a anake. Sinashiro korea sono bala anakola I soto shose. Samudi ili kisonato sabela onakola I tashanako koya satase. Samilia amaro. Shimidia sonoriaron koya baro sinakili koya. I'm smiling because I'm hearing Michael saying, yes, even when I was angry, I always had a very soft voice.
And I keep hearing him saying, it's all about love. L-O-V-E, love. Love. Like when I get really angry, like he's always over my shoulder saying, love.
It's all about
and he spells it out for me, and I'm like, thanks. Thanks.
Thanks for spelling that out for me. It's all about L-O-V-E, love. Oh, that's funny. See, now we're getting funny. We're getting drunk on the energy.
Let's storm the castle.
Okay. Your turn. See, look what's
it. All right.
I keep wanting to laugh. Sorry.
I'm like, he needs to like go, just go over by Wendy. Step away from
He's like, because he was so playful too. He loved being a kid. He loved being a little kid. He just wanted to play. So I'm feeling all of this like really playful energy.
Okay. He's like gone now for just a second. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
The huonia niakoto niashiki inato do hui iamo ono to aya. Hiashutu hunu u huya yanaha ta ayo no ti kokoya leta to kanyamo una mahian mahala koyo o viashitiana ni utu hu gonoya.
I'm watching his videos in my head.
No, you know what just happened? He's like peering over my shoulder from the back, but like he goes, can I come back now?
And I'm seeing his videos in my head, and I'm just like, okay, what's
okay. You should make yourself beautiful and like do some light language with us and like stop making us laugh. Uinahaya ko oto boyana tika utu koyahana nashitu u biana la a to o to 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 yana haya ko ono shodia makili itu na hana na kukoyana ishiti haya ya yo no o le amona nikaya to kono iashi kakakayo no to ya Minana oh no 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 we are no okona haya nashata nia mukiana hana la boyana ta
Misato supukia soro isepo ora kashanoya soro si kia ikia soro bari kia sono rikira kia sini garo kwe bari sono ina ni kwala kore kia sa shima ki Hitiasa sabara eno koasapa okosapasha na. I can't. I'm telling you, he's so funny because he showed me all his videos, right? And he's like, so that's why it was so much fun because I got to show all of the different facets of myself, and I got to play and be all these characters and be fun, and I got to be okay. Where is it? Hang on.
Oh no.
I have to get it. He's like, you have to get it. You have to get it. I'm like, okay, I'll get it.
Oh God.
He's like, get the hat. I'm bad. It's like,
can you do that in my language? Like, no si wata.
You see where I go so toya kuesaiwa. Nekara. Sinugare hela kia hi la yena ya he. He wants to party.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness.
See, hinakia soto shia la nia ia kuat. He's like, I don't stop making music, you know. Ta ta da shia kale ye ya na halake. See ya ye ya gi. Soki yashake. I don't even know
You
if I
mad? Tushiyatama. Tushiyatama. You mad?
Thriller.
Oh yes, and this is what the Asani are talking about being in sounds. This is good. This is good. We're like bringing it full forward.
Say no, any sane person would not publish this on YouTube.
No, I know, but we're not really sane, so you never know. Flip the coin.
He's okay. He says I can carry on this way.
Oh my God.
I love music so much.
You know what I'm hearing right now? Something about like life is a dance.
Oh, and totally, man. I just keep seeing him dancing in his videos over and over. He keeps showing me all of his videos. and really such a good dancer. I mean, I remember just watching him thinking, oh, if I could dance like that, you know.
Let's see what.
So, but you can, but you can, and but we do. But we do. I'm like,
yeah, well, you know, like he listens to my horrible playing. Like he sits sometimes.
You play well, and I will say to the audience here and now that Alicia plays the piano, and beautifully so. I do not play any instruments. I'm singing bowl.
When I was little, I used to have Beethoven used to come and like sit on the bench with me, and like he would just like shake his head, and I'd be like, oh, that's bad.
Okay, you need to play one of these days. You have got to play the piano while we do languages.
Maybe.
Oh, come on.
The Asani would say, go do it. Go be your bad self.
That's right. Speak up and be bold, that all may hear what you have to say. Yeah,
oh my God. Okay, so let's get a card. Tushinai wa aita o noko oli o dodi akiana.
I'm just loving these stones here.
Nashiata o no o. Seeing the one.
Oh my.
That's kind of funny because like
seeing the one.
Yes. Actually.
We are seeing the one. When we see all of ourselves, when we know ourselves, we see the one. You know, we see the one within all of us. Isn't that great? I love this. I've got one in each hand. I have a heart in each hand. 2 hearts. I have a heart in each hand.
Seeing the one. Because you know what that reminds me of? Like the all-seeing eye.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know why.
That's really funny because right before you pulled that card, I was just thinking about the me deck that I was with the eye on it. And so I was looking at it just a second ago and I was like, oh.
Maybe that's what because I was thinking like I know I just saw this, but before I read this one, I just had this experience yesterday. Remember how I said I was gonna like take an Epsom salt bath and like
you were. I thought you were preparing for that last night at the hangout.
Yeah, and it was really nice. And so I did some toning. I did some like Hathor toning, and just closed my eyes. And it was very interesting. I was standing in front of a Stargate. But like it was a Stargate on like a cloud, like on a big cloud, and there was 2 guards at the door, like it was an actual like massive portion of a door, and it was weird because I didn't get any instruction as to what I was supposed to do, and so I held my hand up like this to the guard at one side, and I held my hand up like this. And they did the same thing, but they had sigils or symbols on their hands, and my sigils and symbols did not match. And so I felt the energy like it's my choice. I can go through that, but like I felt it was like a really weird test. Like it was a test of Ra or test of Horus or something.
Wow.
So then I was like, okay, and I jumped to the next cloud, and there was like another one, and I did the same thing, and it didn't match up. And this whole time I'm thinking, what's really going on here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? So I jumped to the next one, and of course I saw this big like Egyptian thing, of course, and there was Anubis standing, two Anubis dudes. Oh wow, that's like Michael Jackson related too. Okay, so two Anubis dudes like standing, and they put their hand up, and it was two different symbols, and our symbols did not match, but when you put them together, they made a new symbol.
That makes sense.
I walked through the door, and the door was like a rectangle and a rectangle and a it just got smaller and smaller and smaller, and there was like light at the end of the thing. And when I got to the light, there was like Isis was standing there, like with her wings outstretched, and Mott was standing there, and they like it was weird. They like crowned me with something, and she said, and Mott said, "Congratulations, you passed your next your test." And that just gave me the shivers. I have no idea what that was about, but that was my wonderful bath that I had.
Interesting.
So I passed this test. And so the Anubis so like, I don't know, Michael always had these like these big Anubis dudes.
Yes.
His like door to go into his bedroom. And like, it was like,
yes.
Thing, and that's really weird. That just dawned on me. I didn't really think of that, but let's see what this has to say.
I was just discussing Isis yesterday, as a matter of fact,
really?
with Bree, yesterday or the day before. Yes, very, very interesting that you mentioned that about Isis and Anubis.
I had one of my friends she's very young. She's just learning to channel, and she sent me a random message last week. She's like, "Are you hanging out with Anubis?" And I said, "That's really weird that you should ask that, because like I've kind of had a few things with him, and like I'm putting together the pieces of how people think like Anubis is really dark, and like but he's not really." I said, "I'm putting together the history of how the priests of Anubis actually like pulled people out of their bodies for the surgeons to be able to operate on them and safely put them back in." So
wow.
And then I said, "Well, you could probably confirm this if like somebody," she's like, "Well, I think I'm talking to Isis, but somebody was telling me that you were working with Anubis." I said, "Well, why don't you fact check my information?" I'm always like putting her up to like things she would never think of, like asking the people that are coming through or her team.
Right.
I'm like, "Well, team, like that's what they're there for." But
exactly.
Don't you think that's like too much information to ask? Like I was like, "No, bother them. That's what they're there for."
That's what they're there for. They want to be bothered all the time.
Make sure that they're like true legit. Anyway. So, okay. It says, after a long struggle, humanity achieves enlightenment. What does this mean? Oh, did you hear that? After a long struggle, we achieve enlightenment. Although we knew we were going to do it anyway. But anyway, what does this mean? Humans no longer feel the need for conflict, and they put down their literal and metamorphical weapons. Though seeing clearly without judgment, we learn to perceive through the eyes of the others, that eventually realize that there's only one consciousness that sees through all eyes. Begin practicing this now. In meditation, ask yourself, who is the one seeing? Who is the one seeing, the one seated in meditation? As you connect with the seer, know it is only one being who is seeing, and this being spans the entire universe. Oh, heal the world, because
that's amazing. See there? God, I'm loving this stuff, man. I'm loving it. Well, this is interesting too, because I was...
As long as we continue to see reality in black and white terms, I kid you not.
Oh, come on.
I kid you not. He's laughing. Okay, as long as we continue to see reality in black and white terms, we continue to keep ourselves separate from the true consciousness that we are, the one abiding being in creation who sees through the myriad of eyes. As the famous, I like how it says, as the famous Bible quotes from Matthew 6:22, it says it best. If therefore thine eyes be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Therefore, if thine eye be single, thy whole body. Oh, the eye.
Well, look at that.
Look at that. That's the same exact. Look at that's the same exact thing. Crazy.
Oh my God, that is so weird.
That is weird. And it's in like the earth, and then mine said earth too.
And this card I flipped is passion. I stoke my fire.
Just look at, she's dancing.
And she's dancing. She's dancing. Okay. You just can't see. And didn't even click. She's dancing. Passion. I stoke my fire. Here she is. She's dancing. There you go, Michael. Here we go.
There you go, buddy.
He kept showing me that he kept showing me dancing in all of his videos, how he was dancing and all the choreography. And then we pulled the this is hilarious. And the sun just moved into Aries, which is also a fire sign. And so very interesting how and this is what we're all being called to do, is we're being called to stoke our fire. And that's the one thing about Michael, well, as quiet as he was
an individual,
was passionate when he was performing,
he would always say I think there was this one time where he was teaching somebody to dance, I don't know, but he said, feel that fire, throw it out there.
See, I didn't even know that. See, well, there you go, Michael. He says, well, who do you think picked the card?
Damn. Who's bad?
No shuna iwarungo yabar una kiwa kiata shunikiwa otese. Simiriano Guariabaria Sonoko Abarisaka. Sono sale kiashana kila kotor samakeshe. Mokoto sikia tasanakila o anakila kosoto shoteke. Situshole anaki misoto shoje. Mikiria soto sobe anakariata. My throat's getting scratchy from talking last night, and then I did a long video today too, so I'm like, excuse me.
That's the thing. We need more water because we're raising our vibrations.
Yeah, for sure. And
you got lemon in yours.
Lemon's in there too.
So
and it's my purple glass.
2 days to put lemon in my water, but I haven't.
And I love these purple colored glasses. I love drinking out of them just because they're, I don't know, I feel like they raise my vibration,
Well, yeah, because it's all about color. All about color.
Niya kunaya sinayahi. Enaya tunoya naha. Sinayatilahi. Sotoyasat kila koya para sonoke. Sopariando rishawi inkwa para koyamba olo saparakoa. Moshero koya baria sono iwa ko soparishno se kia todo shobari eto soparasono ishanakila ki satisini ki kiato sopara oshanaki sapushna iwa. He said, if you could see yourselves from my perspective, you would see that you are all dancing lights of color. He said he no longer associates himself even with the physical body that he embodied here.
Yep.
And this is the light that we saw in him as well, of course. As children, we saw each other's true souls. We saw the light of our soul family. And now that we're becoming more aware and able to cross that veil so easily now, we can really tap into that that original flame, that original fire, that we felt with that soul family connection, Yeah, he gets very emotional. I mean, he makes me, I don't know if he's getting emotional or if that's even possible,
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
it's just it makes him really happy that we think of him in happy thoughts and happy terms.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah. He's still like his general soul is just a very emotional soul.
yeah,
So
it is. It's very
we have lots of
soft.
conversation where there's lots of emotion. And that's funny you mentioned that, because just last night we were having a conversation and I said, you know that I don't need to see you as you were in this last physical form. I really don't care. Like, it
Wow.
doesn't me. And so it was just really weird that you brought that up.
It actually broke my heart. I remember being so brokenhearted for him because I could feel how he really was inside in him and what he was, and in the pain that he was enduring here. And I remember feeling really sad that he ever felt the need to change his physical form here, because I personally thought he was so beautiful the way he was. And so I felt so sad for him as a human, that his suffering brought him to the point where he felt that he needed to be different. And so, yeah, isn't that interesting how all of this whole night actually turns into, and I've been hearing too all night, the Archangel Michael energy. It's the same soul family, really. It's the
Yeah.
same, that same energy. So all night long, I've been feeling that blue energy and lapis energy and my Archangel Michael, and singing our truth, and healing these blocks, and here we're again, healing simply means raising our frequency and our vibrations to where we don't hold on to those physical beliefs that manifest themselves as what we even think of as a block. And isn't it interesting when we say we're blocked, but yet there's nothing physically blocking us from anything.
And that's what that one card was talking about being honest with yourself. If you are feeling where you can't go any further in your work or in your, why, like, just be honest with yourself and then remove it, because that's easy to do. But a lot of us have a problem with, I think, being honest with where some of the stuff is that we're struggling.
Well, sure, because then sometimes we might have to be honest and say, this just doesn't make me happy anymore, but then we have to take the action to change it, and that action's scary.
Yeah. And I think, like even with Mike, like, so many people saw him as this entertainer. They didn't realize like who he was as a soul. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the soul family did, because we're all kind of connected that way. But as with any entertainer, a lot of times you just see them as this external piece of whatever their persona is, that you don't see them as the real soul who struggles with day-to-day things, but still has to put on a happy face and go out there and perform, but then that's where the love is. So like,
well, that's true too. That was the reflection of the love that he was looking for. And right. even that love, there was still in some fashion, there was still judgment wrapped up in that love, because even the fans wanted him to be something that they wanted him to be.
Right. Exactly.
And so, yeah, but isn't that how beautifully metaphoric is that for all of this, and what every single one of us are moving through now. And that's why I like to say, not going through, we're moving through it. Because we're done with it now.
And I think those first couple cards talked about that too, where they said we're like on now, I lost them, but they said now that we're on to the next evolution.
Yes.
Something like that. But it was where we're in the process of.
Exactly. It's like you've already moved. And so, yeah, I'm just loving this energy. I
was just going to start.
I know. Say, go ahead. Cause I've been talking.
Like,
I need to rest my voice.
When you were talking too, I was actually doing light language right along with you. So I would be very interested to see what that recording sounds like afterwards. Who knows? It's like really like harmonious and like a beautiful song.
Oh, how cool is that?
Da 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 do go no shotia pa na hata kunia mala. Tu kuya pa o tu shu 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 no no ayono go no dia pa o kaiana. Ti hihi wa thia hono tu ya lo nana. Kia ta ono shiti ka pa ana. Na ki ona na I ku nana goliato shianata poniahaniata mayana noniana nia godaiana u tiashanakiana mahala ikonona.
Imetisi miana ki kuata sabalahana kalia so sopa kishe in kikiato soparia shana ki aina mai kisa so shapaliana se dikia ki amasha de kila kuria maria shopa ki awade zeto moro kila kwa semesha abakara kuria marisa somalaki topaliki shachamenina blohera kuria pasana malahala kuria pasasa tashkia Mahala kodiga pashono pala kisa para shuro so para kode le imali ko para shuro ko para sinati so para sinaki la ku yeshamana ala ko pasa to sopa po shame ina iwana so sopa so para I uina bali ko so para ka tershna so para to pala kisa so para lo pora shona para gi para ina to pala so por eso no me adora paso de beshenaki, so pe hana wala ina name esoto saba e shoko, misoto sa. He was actually explaining just now how it was really sad for him to see that people saw the ones that saw him galactically, saw him as more of the malevolent, galactic aspect rather than a benevolent being, and so Miaso e shapo Miasoto shapika. And so instead of seeing him bringing the light, that the higher light, that he was trying to bring through Miasoto, they saw him as dark and mysterious rather than a bringer of love and light. And took his behavior into that frequency as well. And how beautiful it is to be free from that judgment, and and thanks us, those of us who did actually connect to his true light. And how, yes, this is definitely a metaphor for all of us, how knowing ourself and being ourself, but truly accepting ourself, the acceptance portion of it is like because he still never actually even, he never truly was able to accept himself fully because of the judgment. And so this is like the last chord, if you will, is to now come to this full acceptance, not just to know thyself, but to completely accept myself, and that we can love ourselves completely in that true unconditional love. And that's what's going to shift, the human collective consciousness. Well, he's been very, very enlightening and helpful tonight.
Yes. Sometimes it's like when we really got to get things accomplished, I'm like, okay, like we can goof off for like this, but now we have to like get down to brass tacks. Like we gotta, and like it's cool, but you need that time. And I think, I think sessions or whatever. Like I look at like conference tables are more productive if you are allowed to be yourself and be goofy and then do your stuff, and so like it all works out.
Yes.
But I was gonna say something too about where I think some people feel a little more alien in their human skin than others do.
Yes.
And so I think, with him, there was a lot more going on than just like a black, white, skin disease.
Oh yeah, it was it's
being like weird in public. Like it's, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, because
Yes.
but and then to be in the public eye, because and him and I talk about this a lot too, where it's nice because like the business that the way I have it set up is I don't really have to be in the public eye. I can just do videos, stuff like that, even though sometimes I am. But like for him, it was this double-edged sword, because it was so awkward to be in public because you can't be yourself and you feel awkward with this like skin anyway,
Right.
even though you can embrace everything. And so yeah.
And I'm actually I'm not one of these people who would enjoy living in a fishbowl like that, and to be, no matter where you go, you just can't. And I think a lot of people actually keep themselves from their own success, I think, for that reason too, for fear of being constantly in the criticism, the public eye, in a position of judgment. And even that, I think, is fading more and more now that the internet has come and all of us are making videos, because so many of us now have broken down a lot of that stigma of all of that, of needing to be something else. And this is who I am. I am galactic. I'm human. I have this. I'm a family. I have stuff. But I also have all this other stuff. I have all this other galactic stuff happening to me. But now we're able to actually embrace it and talk about it more. But yet, even in I think, and I'm bringing up Jim Carrey right now because I'm so happy that he is finally saying this, and he's saying, it doesn't matter to me what you guys think, and it doesn't matter if you think I'm crazy, and it doesn't, because even he finally is showing the rest of the world the Jim Carrey that I was presenting to the world was still also a fictional character. He wasn't me. He was a me I conjured and created for all of you, because he was who I believed I actually was. He says, but then I realized I was playing a character called Jim Carrey. And so that was huge, I think, for all of us in the spiritual community too, because it finally also broke that down. And there's a movie that I've been wanting to watch for a very long time that I haven't, and I'm being reminded now by my guides to watch it, by Shirley MacLaine, because she, gosh, what was the name of it? Well, I'll have to remember the name of it now. And it was a movie about her real life as an actress, as Shirley MacLaine, and she was a channeler. And when she went out to the public to tell people she was a channeler, now granted, this was decades ago, and what she went through as a human being, as an actor in real life, because she let that out of the bag. Mm-hmm. And how all of that is all changing now, and how even Oprah has embraced Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, and talks about channeling, and where she, even in The Secret, when all that came out, none of that was talked about even then, because she was also in the public eye and didn't want to be seen as that, And
I think, and we talk about this a lot, where even in the historical field, it's pretty narrow. Like, that's why we have the two things. We have the historical thing and we have the Temple Beautiful thing. And to have an outlet to be who you really are, but then to have to be this, I mean, and I am, like, I embody.
And to me, it doesn't even seem like there should be a separation, because I think it's the same thing, but I understand what you're saying, because you want to embody almost like your Egyptian history. Well,
and you have to, like, when, unfortunately, for most of us, when you're running a business, if it's not a new age business, if it's not a new age business or an esoterical business, you have to be very careful about what you say about religion and politics and your belief system. Like, you never want to let people know. Well, some people do. They're like, this is my business and this is what I believe.
But isn't that where we're blurring the line now?
It is. It is. And we've done a few things, like remember the Halloween thing where we did like
that was fun. And actually, yeah.
And so it's very slowly coming, but it's kind of like, even in the context of the historical apothecary, you have a group of people who they're interested in historical, well, most of them are interested in historical recipes and learning about history, but there's those few, like Michael was talking about his soul group, there's some that they just know, they know who I am, they know what I do. And, you know, we get a lot of like, you know, witch this, or like Egyptian queen this, like following and commenting. And so it's nice to not have to say, like, to just have those people know that there's so much more to you than just this teeny tiny portion. But I think a lot of people, whether they're successful on the internet platform now, or like Mike, who, you know, was worldwide fame, deal with that constantly. And that's kind of what the Asani we're talking about with us, like embracing who we are. And but also the first card reminded us that we can't rush that evolution. Like there's
I never thought in a million years I would be on YouTube.
Well, I guess that's true. I guess when I was told to start the channel, I didn't think that. I was like, dude, that's crazy. People aren't going to want to listen to me ramble on about like this actually happened in history and blah,
but
blah,
I mean,
blah.
just deciding one day to start speaking light languages on YouTube, I was absolutely terrified of what but what I've discovered is it's all about frequency, and the only people that are going to come are the people that are supposed to be there.
And I so embrace that. Like I don't even feel like I need to worry. Like I'll just put a video up, and if there's only like 2 people watching it, like those are the 2 people that needed to see it, and it's fine.
I've actually come out and told, even though I haven't like told some of my family that I speak light languages, or you know, channel these sorts of beings and things, but I've even said to them, yeah, I've got a light language. I said, I've got a YouTube channel, and we do meditations, and I do live events and private sessions. And they've never even asked me, oh, really? Can I watch your videos, or can you send me the link? They've never even asked me. Yeah. It's like
the frequency isn't there yet.
It's just not there. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
It needs to be that way. So, but don't you feel now, this is what we're doing. We are erasing the lines of separation to be able to that. There will be the day very, very soon where everyone's going to know both sides of your business, because this is who you are. And this is what we're doing. We're bringing up fractals.
Like you and I took a big step out. Well, for me personally, I took a big step out today with being like, hey, like Michael and I chat every day. Like we're buddies.
Well, I've never talked about really before either.
Good for us. Like,
I mean, really, I've never come out and say, well, yeah, I talk to Michael Jackson on a pretty regular basis. Yeah. You know, it's not something I've actually just come out and discussed.
Well, that's because you and I, like, we were the sisters that could like discuss this stuff.
Yeah.
But now so many people are like, oh, I'm so glad you guys said that, because I do too, and I do too, and now we're.
Oh, and then look at the posting today I saw on Facebook, and you're gonna come across it because I tagged you, and it's so.
I'm gonna have to look. I was like, had cold cream in my hair today. It was just a crazy day. I haven't even really been.
I don't know. She's like, I'm making myself presentable. I'm like, well, I don't bother, but okay, go ahead.
I said, Wendy, you don't want to see.
I put a shirt on and I put a hat on. That's how I made myself presentable.
I know, and like when you were talking before, like so like he was standing right here, right? And he goes, "So has her hat on." It's like, that's right.
I in my work, when I worked, I love hats, and I collect a lot of these. Are all antiques, actually. I will have you know, these are authentic antiques. I was collecting for a long time men's fedoras, and but I wanted to make sure they fit, because I literally wore them. And I have even some of the old antique hat boxes, you know, the paper cardboard hat boxes. And so I would literally buy hats, men fedora, and I would wear them to work, and I would wear them with my outfits. I would change it all up. I
That's so
I
awesome.
was so bohemian. Every day I would go to work dressed in something different, jewelry, clothes, makeup, hats, shoes, and I had so much stuff. So much stuff. I swear to God, I had to clean out my closet like 20 times before I
Oh my
moved. It
God.
was bad. Um, but I never spent a lot of money on clothes. I'm talking like thrift shops and secondhand stores. My mom, I never bought anything full price ever.
You and I, we
I
talked about this
mean,
before, but
never.
I am totally the
Do you
same way.
love this one?
That was
Isn't
adorable.
this the greatest?
Love
And
it.
these are actually literally, the real
The real
deal,
deals. That's
the actual, and I'm like, I love it. And I would make sure that they fit because I actually did wear them.
on one of our next recordings, we'll have to have a hat day. We'll
We'll
both
have a hat day. Yeah.
invent
So,
hats and we'll wear them.
yeah. So it's funny because I've been actually talk about being authentic and being ourselves, because now that I've retired and I don't work anywhere anymore, and I basically don't go anywhere. I mean, the grocery store, and we take our garbage to the dump, and we just live a normal life in the rural America. And so I have all this cool stuff that I don't wear anymore, jewelry and hats. And I thought, I'm gonna start breaking my stuff out for videos. I was just like,
Good.
I'm like, why not? I just got done telling my husband that I'm like, I got all this crazy jewelry and stuff that I never wear, and I'm like, and I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. I haven't changed my earrings in probably like, I don't know, about 3 years.
What?
I've got my I've got my tree of life. I bought these tree of life earrings, and there was this whole thing that happened that day that I bought these earrings, and it was like I woke up. It was like the day I woke up, and then right after that, I swear to God, I bought these earrings and I took a year hiatus from like my whole family. I did not, and I literally spoke to nobody
Wow.
for a year. I mean, people were major pissed at me. I did talk to my children, but I swear to God, cross my heart, only my children I talked to. None of my friends, none of my family. I took an entire year off and I talked to no one. And it was these earrings that represented this day for me. And it was in that time that I actually started waking up and doing all of this. And so they're very representative.
So like you don't want to, yeah, I could see that.
And so I have changed it up a little bit, but for the most part, I really haven't taken them off. And as a matter of fact,
like, do you sleep in them too?
Oh yeah, I sleep in them, shower them. Yeah, and then I just bought these other new ones recently. They're just little studs, and they're Native American handmade inlay, and they're like a couple of different. I can't remember the name of the company. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so just to keep in my ears like all the time, because I'm so lazy. I never. I wear a lot of necklaces, but even those, I used to wear so many that I would go to bed at night and I wake up in the morning and I'd be like literally choking because they would be wrapped around each other. And I thought, okay, I need to kind of just taper it down a bit. So but it's hard for me because I really like wearing like a lot of them, but I'm so lazy. I don't want to take them off and put them on every day. And
you don't even take them off at night. Like I don't.
No.
I take my stuff off at night.
You do or don't?
I do.
Well, you should. That's good. I don't. No. It's really good that you do, but no, I hardly ever even take off my rings. And actually,
if I'm going to sleep with something, I'm going to sleep with like a stone or.
Every now and then I do take all my rings off and clean them really well and stuff. But even that I'm really bad about. My aunt she was a jeweler and she used to get really mad at me. I'd come over and visit. She'd be like, oh my God, would you please clean your rings? She'd be like, give me your rings. And I'd be like,
I haven't.
But no, I don't. I've become so like, I don't know. I really got away from all of that because I didn't.
I get it because it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
like I barely even, take care of my nails, which I actually been really coming back to that though, because it is about self-care. And there is a lot to be said about that, about self-care, but I find myself really, because I'm so passionate about doing all of this, it's like I literally forget to like, oh, yeah, I should probably file my nails. And, I mean, like,
Well, which is why I said it's a good thing that I cleaned up, because like day to day there, we don't see anybody. I'm working in the apothecary. Like,
right.
I mean, just throw on like whatever I had in the apothecary.
I mean, today I was making, I made a smoothie, and I made banana bread, and I made dinner, and I did a video, and it's like, it's like, that's.
You were a little Betty Crocker today, weren't you?
I was, yeah, we were. See, you were in the lab, and I was in my kitchen lab. Yeah, making all things with good ingredients, and so yeah, I've just been creative, doing some creative cooking. And
that's really important though, especially like with the retrograde. Everybody's all freaked out, like, oh, it's the retrograde. Well, it kind of is, like, however you're gonna put the spin on it. I mean, yeah, a lot of times like computers and stuff get messed up.
It happens, but
it might not be as high. But like, don't go into the retrograde assuming it's gonna be like crap.
No, it's a great time to review. It's a great time to go over your stuff, to dot your I's, cross your T's. Organize. Yes, exactly. And
use it. Be creative. Like, take time for yourself.
And that's what we've been doing too. I've been just cleaning up our space, getting more organized, decluttering. It declutters my mind. And I like taking that time to do that. And, yeah, as far as the communications go, and this goes with everything, it makes us mindful when we say, oh, Mercury's going retrograde. Communications of all kinds get messed up, but you know what? It makes us
pay attention.
Present. Yes. Yeah. It makes us more present about hitting the send button before we send that email.
Exactly.
It makes us more present about, do I really want to buy this thing? Do I really need this? Do I really want to sign this contract? Do I really want to do this thing with this person? Let me think about it for a little while. And I've literally put things off during a Mercury retrograde and have never gone back to it.
Yep. And really, this is what we should do with life. Like we always jump into things, but if we would really think about it, like, do we really need that in our home? Do we really need to do this? Like, does this really make me happy? If it makes you happy, do it. But like, don't just jump. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, exactly. Because sometimes because we want to fill a hole, we'll go buy things, and then you get it home and you realize it didn't fill the hole at all. And all it did was create something that needs to either attention or requires space or attention or whatever. And it's like, well, it didn't bring me what I really thought it would. And so, yes, exactly. But if it's something that, of course, that you see and you're like, oh my God, this brings me passion and I love this. But I think we can recognize now, and that's where we're going with all this energy. I think we're beginning to recognize the difference between that. What is really bringing us passion? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it really passion, or is it coming from anxiety? Is it coming from a place of lack?
That's what the card said. Like, I didn't read the whole thing, but the second portion of one of the cards we pulled talked about that exact same thing that you're talking about.
Interesting. Wow. Well, geez, how you doing? Are you going to pull another card? Should we get going here soon?
We should. So I got this brand new deck.
Nice.
Power Oracle, and I thought I could use it for, because I used to be, when I was into like earth empaths stuff, because for a while I was like really grounding into earth and seeing what it felt like to like feel the way she feels, and so I could predict what was going to be happening by what part of me ached.
Yes.
It was a little overwhelming, and so I experienced that, and it was joyful for a while, and then I pulled myself away from it onto other things, but I can always go back there if I need to. But this power deck I thought would be very interesting because we could use it for a lot of
I like that. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's just see what happens.
So here, is this a brand new deck?
Brand new. It's like still sticky.
Yeah, so to sabi kiato sa bilani kiaso to sa pala ero ko sa pala hana ko ke posto na ke ko pasono sa para era ko sa para ise. Sinekile so pasona elo ko sa mara ishna. So what is it that our guides need to send us a message today so that we can step into our power here on earth? Earth power. I like that. There we go. We have set the intention. And I love all of you who have stuck through this and who actually watched this entire video.
At this point, they're going to be like, wow, these ladies are pretty cool because they're like unique and different and they stand up for like what they are. Or they're going to be like, oh my God, I can't.
Click.
And then I'm like picturing like, okay. So this is interesting now because these two cards flew out before you did, or like when you just started the light language, and I put them back in, and I shuffled again, and they flew out again.
No way.
True story. True story. Okay, so the first one is the Grand Shrine, Fushimi.
Fushimi Inari Grand Shrine. Ooh, yeah. Talk about stepping into your power.
It's kind of interesting. It's like the gateway I went through.
It is.
It was like, and the two people were on the whoa, whoa,
oh,
whoa. Okay, so
I'm digging.
I'm sure because like here's the sun. Well, there's suns all over, but like it's like. Oh.
I really like that. Talk about walking into your gateway power, boy. Yeah. And the equinox. The equinox.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. This one too has the same thing.
Oh my God.
Okay. So shivers.
Oh, that was awesome.
So it says, I nourish myself and I'm open and completely abundant. I am fertile in every way and I am joyful and happy. We'll have to look it up. This one is, I can't pronounce it. Can you pronounce it?
Let me see if I can say it. Oh,
I know I've like.
Okay. Oh, that's Angkor Wat. Yes. Yeah, Angkor Wat. Yes.
So it says, I have the courage to live my heaven on earth. As above, so below. I'm aware that sometimes things must fall apart to be reborn as I would wish.
Perfect. Talk about perfect for the equinox, the new year, rebirth. Oh, this is excellent.
So these are very interesting. They give the GPS coordinates, so you can either look for numerology in them or add them all up, or
I like it.
It gives you the key energy. So like if you'd actually go to this place, you could take your deck with you in your little book, and you could actually say, okay, these are the key energies here. What am I actually feeling?
Wow.
Because Wendy, when you travel the world,
am digging that.
Okay, so it says birth, death, rebirth, creation, balance, destruction, devotion, and pleasure. And that's the whole cycle that we've been talking about. Perfect. So this is located, Angkor Wat is located in Cambodia, in case you guys want to go travel. It says it's the largest religious complex on Earth and is an ancient Khmer city that has been the center of truly sacred geometry and geography for thousands of years. Just like my
Well, how synchronistic.
It is one of UNESCO's World Heritage Site and is considered one of the world's great wonders of the world. It is a place of sublime beauty, energy, and importance. Originally dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, it is now a Buddhist center that does not reject its historical leanings. It is truly a place where Hinduism, Anuism, and now Buddhism meet with power and grace. Like all of us coming together.
See?
Oh,
my
complex was built as an earthly representation of Mount Meru, the home of the gods and sacred beings called Devas, D-E-V-A-S. We could do a whole thing on that. It is a representation of heaven on earth. It is a place of symmetry, mathematical perfection, and storytelling. Its mythos begins with a metaphorical look at creation with the Vishnu gateway. Stargates!
Gateway!
Whoa. The central tower temple is a representation of Mount Meru, surrounded by smaller mountains, bounded by the turn of the oceans. The earthly continents, all are rich metaphorical in architecture and are all in one area. To walk this ground is to walk in footsteps of royals and shaman priests, monks, and generations of devotees, to dance amongst the beautiful winged, whatever that word is, apsaras, because we're dancing.
Everything you just said. Oh my God.
Anyone interested in experiencing places of power should try immersing themselves in this kind of elemental energy contained in Angkor Wat. It is also an incredible place to meet Cambodians themselves who are renowned for their friendliness and resilience and who are fiercely proud of their site.
Wow.
I gave me shivers.
That's cool.
Oh,
I
we
swear.
match. Ooh, look at that.
I swore I met somebody online. I don't know when, a couple years ago from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My sister's ex-boyfriend is from Cambodia.
Interesting.
And his story was actually very, very heart-wrenching about how, like, his family had to escape.
I know. Yeah, those are big
anyway, so this one right here is the Grand Shrine. I'm just going to call it the Grand Shrine.
Yeah.
As I nourish myself and I am open and completely abundant, I am fertile in every way and I am joyful and happy. So fertility, growth, joy, protection, cycles, and nourishment. And it's in Japan. You were just talking about Japan with Brie last night. Well, we're always talking about Japan with Brie. So earth and water. I have visited many temples and shrines, and in my time at the Grand Shrine is one of the most joyful and beautiful. From the cheeky pair of red-bibbed foxes at the gates through the watery shrine of the mountain, it makes it easy to smile and in the peaceful happiness. The shrine was founded in 711 AD, so AD is after Jesus, so for all those who don't know that, by the family of an immigrant Korean farmer who donated some of their land to the imperial family when Kyoto was founded. The temple building was built from trees felled from other sacred sites on imperial land to ensure sanctity. It is said that the handsome male fox of the beautiful vixen were often seen playing in a nearby rice field adjacent to the site. The spirited union of these foxes resulted in many healthy litters as a sign of rampant fertility for the farming people as their own crops were raised with gusto. The foxes were seen as benevolent messengers of the deities, and the foxes became a symbol of plentiful harvest. The shrine is dedicated to the god of rice and the 5 key cereals who ensure the protection of the cycles of the rice growing. From the planting to the harvest, it is looked to for vital protection and guidance and has been honored in this way for thousands of years. Still, modern Japan, every year at Inari on June 10th, a beautiful rice planting ceremony is held, speaking of the possibility of fertility. And again, another spectacular celebration is held at the end of the harvest season on November 8th. This is one that asks for continuing bountiful cycles throughout Japan. These beautiful rituals of fertility and happiness now extended the god's traditional reach to modern people outside the farming industry. Business people of all kinds make Inari a primary destination for the prayers of success. We were talking about businesses, and the shrine buzzes particularly at the beginning of each financial year. And many red gates are each donated by businesses or individual business persons and hoping for the blessing of the god. The business talisman can also be bought there and to assist people to attract happiness, nourishment, and prosperity.
That's exciting. That there was a lot of synchronicities in a great deal
there was a lot going on.
And that actually goes right in with the equinox, what we were talking about last night, new beginnings, the planting of the farm fields, all of it. I mean, that how beautifully synchronistic both of those cards are. Wow, what a perfect pair. Yeah.
So I think this will be a very interesting deck to work with for things like this.
We're gonna have to come up with an interesting title for this video.
I know, right?
I'm like, how am I gonna explain all this?
Have foxes been around lately?
Oh, I'm so glad you said something about foxes because see,
that's what they're talking about.
Read in my mind. Because foxes is something I've been very connected to all my life. We used to have fox all over the place where I lived before, where I lived right next to the farm fields where I did a bunch of my videos. There was always fox in my backyard. There was a red one that used to walk. She was so beautiful. It always made me think of Willa Hillerkissing. So I always thought about the fox, and So yeah, the fox energy was all over the place. So when you were talking about the fox and the fertility and the idea of spring and all of it was so very synchronistic.
It's like that fox. There's got to be something with the fox, and I'm like trying to find the book here real quick to look up. It's a really thick book, and Animal Frequency it's called.
Oh yes.
So I thought maybe here, see for you guys who are like interested.
Oh my goodness.
I thought maybe we should just look up fox quick and see.
I
keep hearing something about, like Michael saying something about foxes, but I don't.
Well, I'm a wolf. Mukwasho inkia aniki sotobo osho oma yusho ko aunko asotoko ama anse kwa.
Ashana ohoya hiata anahiata bo.
Ino so kwa ashade iko asatopo oza kosata isho nikia.
Primary colors black and white. Black and white are the first primary colors, and then silver, red, and gray.
Yes.
Element is earth, because earth, we've been really talking about earth today.
Very cool. Oh, and it was the earth.
Power.
Earth power deck.
Foxes symbolize family.
See? Our galactic family.
Yeah. It tends to live in small family groups, just like our soul family, but some, like the Arctic fox, tend to live solitary lives.
Huh.
How? Huh. Because, I feel like, aside from our small family group that we have here, like, I live a pretty solitary life.
So do I. And I was just thinking about Michael. Even as popular as he was and lived in, the life that he lived, he was still a very solitary person.
Let's see, foxes, qualities, okay. These qualities allow you to surprise opponents with your cunning, and I think that's like a lot of us. Like, okay, let's say like Michael, like he had ability to fox to like surprise people with cunning, but like that wasn't really, when you get down to it, that wasn't really who he was.
Right, but I mean, even his music surprised us every time. Every time he came out with a new piece of music, it was something new that surprised us. So.
Okay, here we go. It says, adaptable balance, beauty, clever, cunning, excellent hearing, graceful, intuitive, keen observer, makes quick decisions, master of camouflage, often goes unnoticed, sly, strategic, sure-footed, swift, and wise.
Well, there we are.
There we are.
That's a good way to take our next step, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so if you guys are like really interested in like learning more about them,
that's really cool. That's a great book.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. It's a big book, all right.
It's a big book, yeah.
That's so much fun. I know I've got a couple of animal decks here too, and I really love how I receive messages through through the animal kingdom. I love it. As a matter of fact, my little animal 4-legged canine buddy just came in here a few minutes ago too. So he's like, "Mom, you're taking up my space here." So he came to lay down. So yes, so hey, well, how about if we give some last blessings here and say goodnight to each other, and
thank you to Michael for coming in.
And yes, that was really great. And to all of our guides and our angelic guides, I've been feeling a lot of beautiful energy tonight. A lot of our ETs and galactic guides have been here tonight. So it's been really exciting. Si pikiaso tupe ala korea pasonoria shoro kaya satelisa nekila onya shoria samariana si te ilikisa to sopare el kwesa natesha soro semaniato kwa sono tuasha kili kisana se soto sili kiana kola etosho sono palaki sanikila katosha no kilea satashe lisa inana. And I would like to thank you for initiating this co-creation today. And here we are once again, just being ourselves and saying, hey, let's just hang out and get together and do something. And wow, what a, I never expected,
yeah, this is just wonderful co-creation.
We just came together to speak some light languages, and here we are again. So
we did, and here we are, like 2-3 hours later.
I was gonna say, I don't even know how long.
Next, it's almost 3 that we've been recording. So.
Oh no!
That's okay.
We really, everyone who watches my videos are just gonna be like, "Oh, good God, girl."
Oh my gosh.
They're getting longer and longer.
Hushi nama naoya natikana ayamanda yonoto koto yono hotayashata. Mohaya onaya to okona yataka kanahata osha mati kukuanyata kayana. Mahalati nahaya no kyata ayokono hayamana. Ishitia mahayato nania kaya no maya kupana na holiata yanamana. Na no nasha manati kanaha duyanata moyato ona naliata nama kanshiana ama. Namaste.
Amanahe toko asanaki sato sabe kishnara kalia to sama shantia kore sama kiela mahala kesa. That was awesome. And as I'm listening to you speak, Bree, you, Jacqueline Smith, me, and a couple other people all speak that exact same language, dialect, everything. Listening to you it was like listening to Bree talk to you guys. It was so
well. We
close.
Can be co-creating, even though they're not physically here. They may still join in your meeting. So
I could see them and hear them both as you're talking, and as if they were like here. And the uncanniness of the languages, isn't that interesting? I think it was Syrian, but then I felt like other.
I was getting primarily Syrian as well.
Yeah. So okay, good. So that's what I was thinking. So would people ask, because I get this question every single day. What is that language? What's the translation? Where is the star system? So yes, even though these are universal languages, we do carry soul families, and that is definitely a Syrian soul family language that many of us share, and it was very distinctive. So the answer is yes, it's all of these things. Sometimes it's all of the languages, and sometimes it's this star system, sometimes it's this entity, but that was definitely very familiar family, soul family. So yeah, Toshe.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alicia. This has been great, and I look forward to many more of these.
We'll just we were able to just have a random moment where we were like, yeah, let's just do it.
Let's just do this. And the thing is we don't get to do it very often as we like, which is why we end up talking so long, because we're also catching up. So, and guys, just so you know, we spent a good 30 minutes talking before we even started recording.
We totally did. And we could go on and on. Like, we never even got to talk about like I'm having some like updates and stuff going on, and we could like get into that. It just, the topic
thing, guys, we could literally do this all day, every day, around the clock, because it's just so awesome. So,
and if I didn't have to make cold cream, I could do this, Wendy, like 24/7. We could just have a 24/7 live feed. Just have a constant feed. Yes, exactly.
Well, you have a beautiful evening. I will, and hey, well, I'll see you in the astral, so we'll be busy in just a few hours. Yeah.
Exactly. I will see what Michael's got planned for us if we're all
we'll see you all in the astral.
Our soul group adventure today, or what's happening. So thank you guys for joining, and have a blessed evening, morning, night, wherever you are.
And this is Alicia from Temple Beautiful, and I am Wendy from Languages of Lights, and we thank you for alchemizing in this co-creation. I love you guys.
Nahamashata Ugana. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.